The Sister, the Sinner, and the Shattered Vow. Once upon a time, in a realm of glittered courts and blood-soaked banners, a sister tailed her queen to a world of splendor and sin, only to find her heart ensnared by a forbidden love that would spark a war. Her name was Petronilla of Aquitaine, and this ain't a fairy tale. This is a tale where loyalty becomes a chain, love a curse, and a sister's devotion ignites a fire that consumes kingdoms. Petronilla was the younger, the quieter, the moon to her sister Eleanor's blazing sun. When Eleanor, Duchess of Aquitaine, was wed to King Louis VII of France, Petronilla followed, not as a mere companion, but as a spark in her sister's orbit, her heart bound to Eleanor's cause. The court of Paris glittered with ambition, but beneath its silks lurked vipers. Eleanor, crowned queen at 15, was a tempest of wit and will. Petronilla, less dazzling, but no less fierce, watched from the edges, her loyalty a silent vow. She was no duchess, no queen, yet her presence was a defiance, a promise to stand by her sister through any storm. But courts are cruel to unwed sisters. Petronilla's eyes, searching for purpose, found instead a man, Raoul, a warrior with fire to match her own. He was married, bound by sacred vows to another. Yet his gaze held hers, and in that moment the world shifted. Their love was a secret, born in whispers, a sin woven in stolen glances, and the court shadows began to hiss. Petronilla knew the danger. Raoul's wife, Eleanor of Champagne, was no meek shadow. She was kin to power, her family tied to the church and the crown. But love is a thief, stealing reason, and Petronilla was no saint. She and Raoul met in the darkened corridors, their hands brushing like sparks in a tinderbox. Eleanor, her sister, saw the truth but held her tongue. A queen with her own battles, she shielded Petronilla's secret, even as Louis VII's pious court grew restless. The whispers and accusations, adultery, sacrilege, a stain on Aquitaine's honor. When the church learned of the affair, it roared. Raoul sought to cast aside his wife, claiming consanguinity, a flimsy lie to break his marriage. Petronilla, defiant, stood by him, her love a rebellion against the world's judgment. Eleanor, ever the strategist, backed her sister, weaving diplomacy to calm the storm. But the church would not bend. The Pope excommunicated Raoul, and Eleanor of Champagne's kin, her brother, Tybalt, Count of Champagne, swore vengeance. The court was no longer a haven. It was a battlefield, and Petronilla's heart was the spark that lit the fuse. In 1142, the feud erupted into war. Tybalt of Champagne rallied his forces, his rage fueled by his sister's humiliation. Louis VII, torn between his queen's kin and his duty to the church, led an army against Tybalt. Petronilla, no warrior, but no coward, followed Eleanor to the edge of the conflict, her love for Raoul a weight she carried like armor. The war was brutal, a clash of swords and broken oaths. Towns burned. The fields of Champagne ran red. Petronilla watched, her heart torn between her sister's crown and the man she could not forsake. Raoul fought at Louis's side, his loyalty bought by the promise of a future with Petronilla, a future the church and the world sought to deny. Eleanor, fierce, unyielding, brokered truces where she could, but the war was a wound that festered. Petronilla's love had sparked it, and no diplomacy could douse the flames. When the church relented, allowing Raoul's marriage to be annulled, it was no victory, only a pause. Petronilla wed Raoul in 1142, but the cost was paid in blood, in trust, and in the scars left on Aquitaine's name. Petronilla's marriage to Raoul was no triumph. The court never forgot her sin, nor did the church forgive. She lived in Eleanor's shadow, her love for Raoul a flame that flickered under scrutiny. Eleanor rose higher, her own path leading to a new crown in England, while Petronilla remained tethered to a man whose ambition outstripped his heart. She was no queen, no heroine of ballads. She was the sister who followed, who loved, who paid for her defiance with a life half hidden in history's margins. Yet her bond with Eleanor endured, a thread stronger than war or scandal. They were sisters, forged in the same fire, bound by secrets and sacrifices. What's the moral of this dark, unyielding tale? The sister who follows doesn't always find glory. She finds battles of her own making. The love they call forbidden doesn't fade. It burns, even as it breaks the world. And they lived, boldly, unbroken, their legacy carved in the ashes of a world that dared to defy them.